Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from our studios here at Kokomlemle in Accra on digital address GA0993341 on Joy 99.7 FM. It's also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by Telesol 4G, proudly Ghanaian, Telesol, Just Stay Touch, Mark Auto Parts Ghana, distributors of Isuzu and Chevy cars. Mark Auto Parts Ghana with you for the long run. Coming up in this edition, Gold dealership firm Men's Gold shuts down operations the day it promised to pay dividends after 2 postponements. We are live from the East Legon offices of Men's Gold Company. I leave it all to Allah, words of the woman who became a widow the same day she became a bride. She speaks for the first time since a car accident on her wedding day killed her husband and left her injured.
Feeling great by the grace of Allah. I thank God for giving me my life. Oh, what I can say, Allah knows best. Allah knows best.
Group of clergymen in Volta region urges government to halt petitioning of the Volta region to prevent tension between the north and south of the region.
If this humble appeal is not read to, we foresee the actualization of the adage. You can suppress the will of some of the people some of the time, but you can't suppress the will of all the people all the time.
The ministry responsible for the creation of new regions won't comment but says there's no turning back. Police in East Legon increase efforts to arrest and prosecute road traffic offenders as some drivers there dangerously drive on pavements and use unapproved routes, endangering the lives of other motorists.
If anybody is caught disrespecting the traffic regulation, we deal with him, we arrest him, process him and put him before court for the court processes to take its own place.
And we have the latest from the world of sports.
Yes, and the World Youth Olympics will get underway in Buenos Aires tomorrow, MFR. We'll find out later how prepared Ghana's contingent is for the multi-sport event.
We'll take a flight there and more here on the Midday News on Joy 99.7 FM. I am MFA Apau. Now, gold dealership firm Men's Gold shuts down operations today, the day it promised to pay dividends after 2 postponements. We'll go live to the headquarters of the East Legon branch. Emmanuel Jivenu will join us shortly, and also efforts to reach officials of the company have so far proved futile. We're still working the lines, able to speak to them and go live on the ground to our reporter. But whilst we wait, founder of Group Indum, Dr. Papakwesi Indum, is asking the central bank and other financial institutions to explain to customers and depositors what is happening in the banking sector. He believes this move will help reduce the incidence of panic withdrawals that has hit the financial services sector following the collapse of some banks in recent months. Dr. Indum said this when he took his Stop Panic Withdrawal campaign to Kumasi, where he pleaded with traders and clients of his bank. We'll get to hear from him because he also says he will continue with the public sensitization and engagement throughout the country to ensure depositors and the general public understands the need to still keep their monies in the banks. We'll go live let's go live now to the Men's Gold offices. Emmanuel Jivenu is there for us, and we told you about the gold dealership firm shutting down operations today. We know that they are supposed to pay dividends after 2 postponements on the same day. And Emmanuel Jivenu joins us on the line. Emmanuel, so what's happening currently where you are?
Well, here at the East Legon branch of Men's Gold dealership, there's not much of activities over here. And in fact, 2 customers of this company are here. They are, according to the one I spoke to them, they were saying that their returns were due to be paid today. But when they came here, the place has been locked and they are frustrated as to what exactly is ongoing. One of the women I spoke to said she invested 100,000 Ghana cedis and she was supposed to come here to get her returns. But unfortunately, the place has been locked and there are notices on the building of Men's Gold indicating that they have ceased to operate until further notice. In the compound of the company is a police car, a police patrol car parked in with 2 policemen in there. So there's no much of activity or no activity ongoing here at Men's Gold dealership branch here in East Legon.
But have we heard from authorities yet? Because they promised to pay dividends today and they are not working today. What's actually going on? Do we know?
Well, there's nobody in the building actually. So we are yet to get any information or any information from the authorities of this particular bank or this particular gold dealership company. And whenever we get it, we'll let our listeners know.
So as it stands now, customers are just massing up and no one has addressed them. Is that what is happening?
No, nobody has addressed them from the company. It is only 2 customers who have come here. They say they are supposed to get their returns or their returns are due to be paid today. But unfortunately, when they arrived over here, the place remains locked.
So let's attempt to get some answers from Men's Gold. And we have Niama Amatefio, Deputy Head of Communications, joining us on the line. Niama, thank you very much for your time here on the Midday News. You promised to pay dividends today, only for customers to mass up at your offices, and you're not working. Have you shut down? What's actually going on?
Thank you very much, MFA. We haven't shut down, and as I said, we promised paying extra value today. Because if you could recall, when we resumed on the 28th of September, we came out with a schedule to pay all our clients their extra value. What happened is that if it were Friday, we paid, and then unfortunately, we couldn't pay everybody that was due on Friday. So we moved it to Monday to continue payment. On Monday, indeed, we paid some, but we couldn't pay everybody until later in the evening, when we had a meeting with the leadership of the customers of Men's Gold, and they expressed some kind of reservations in terms of the schedule that we brought out, which, according to them, it's inconveniencing some of their members. So if that be the case, we should review the schedule. So we listened to them, and we decided to review the schedule starting from Tuesday. So if you recall, we sent a text message to our various customers that based on the discussion we had with their leadership, we have reviewed the schedule as such, and then we'll communicate or we'll send them messages to that effect. The point is that we plan paying our customers today, but yesterday in the evening, we were in the meeting when we started having information from the various branches that most of our staff members have been attacked by customers. And based on that, we now decide that if we have to do business or operate today, the plan that most customers have had to attack us will not be favorable. That's why we decided to shut down today and not to operate.
So when are you resuming operations?
Well, if you look at the text message that we sent to our various customers, we have told them that we are going to meet with all the groups. We are going to engage them. And today, we have engaged over 3 groups. We've engaged the reps from Parliament. We've engaged the reps from the police service. We've engaged the reps from the military as well. So we're having this engagement with them to discuss the way forward in terms of how to pay everybody. So if we reach an agreement by the close of day today, we will come out with a communique to schedule on which day we will start payment.
But with all this, customers are agitated. At least some of them speaking to us are worried about their investments. Are you able to assure them that everything is okay?
Well, we will continue to assure our customers that their investments are safe. Nobody is going to lose our investment, as we've said over and over. The point is that we are having challenges at this point in time, but these are not challenges that are not surmountable. We know we are going to surmount those challenges, and we will continue paying all our customers. That has been our track record, and I keep repeating that for the past 4 years, as you know, we've never, ever defaulted paying of extra value, and we will definitely scale this hardship or these challenges, and all our customers will receive their extra value or maturity.
So that's Niama Amatefio, the Deputy Head of Communications. Thank you. But we can hear from a frustrated customer.
For the past 2 months, they told us to come here last week, I think Saturday, 2 o'clock. So we were all here. I mean, the place was full up. Everybody is here to take their money. And then all of a sudden, they said that they've given a notice. That, I mean, the date, they are mixing it. They say 6 to 2, 6 to 8. I mean, everything is different. When they say this today, they will say different thing tomorrow. The next 30 minutes, it will turn to different thing. So we don't know what is going on, honestly.
So what are you here to do?
Me, I just came here to see what is going on. I'm supposed to take my money. Even I did it for 6 months. So
how much is it?
100,000. And I don't know what's going on. So I said, let me come here. I used to chat with one of the workers inside there. But today, when I called him, he didn't pick up the phone. When I text him, he doesn't give me any reply. Formerly, he has been giving me at least replying to, then I'll be having at least sense that, things is going to work out well. But honestly, I don't know what's going on. This is my first time even entering to this type of situation.
So you had there a frustrated customer speaking to my colleague Imano Jivenu. We'll keep on following the situation at Men's Gold and bring you up to speed in our subsequent bulletins.
At the family house of the late Kamaru Diso, friends and well-wishers.
Thank God for giving me my life. Oh, what I can say, Allah knows best. Allah knows best.
Those are the words of the woman who became a widow the same day she became a bride. She's been speaking to Joy News for the first time since a car accident on her wedding day killed her husband and left her injured. On Sunday, the couple got married at an Islamic ceremony in Takrady in the Western region and decided to have a wedding party in Accra. On Sunday, when they got involved in an accident, she and her husband's family say they are struggling to come to terms with the incident. Nancy Emefadradosi was at the family house and now reports.
At the family house of the late Kamaru Diso, friends and well-wishers had gathered to sympathize with the family. The father, Major Retired Alhaji Diso, recounts what had transpired the very day when his son was involved in an accident on the day supposed to be the start of a new journey.
I took the lead to receive visitors, and my son and the bride and the two others, they were four in the car, and on their way for the reception, they were involved in an accident. And my son Kamal passed on the spot.
He recalls his football moments with his son, especially on days Real Madrid was playing.
My son is a Real Madrid fan. And in fact, any time Real Madrid is playing all over the place. And because of my son, I also joined Real Madrid. So anytime Real Madrid is playing, he's in my room, we watch together. And I have lost, but God is in control.
The wife, Janatil Fidaus Yakubu, sitting on a woolen carpet, held tight by her siblings. Her happy face in the pictures we saw on her wedding day are in sharp contrast to her looks now. A plaster placed right under her left eye with some bruises around her neck. After minutes of silence, these were the words she could utter.
I'm feeling great by the grace of Allah. Thank God for giving me my life. Oh, what I can say, Allah knows best. Allah knows best.
Nancy Emefadradosi, Joy News.
You're still listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. Let's now cross over to the industrial area here in Accra. We are learning that there's a development at the Fan Milk Company Limited, and my colleague Kwesi Parker-Wilson is there for us. Kwesi, bring us up to speed on what's happening there.
Well, MFA, the sellers are raising series of concerns. Now, what they are saying is that the company is actually cheating them. They received a letter from the company indicating that the 17 pesos they make from the sale of each product, and I mean the farm milk or the fan yogurt, the company would want to slash that down from 17 pesos to 16 pesos because of high cost of production. And for them, they don't really understand why the company would want to do that, because every day they're on the street selling the product for the company. The little they make out of the things they sell, you also want to reduce it. And so they want the company to maintain the 17 pesos. If the company refuses to do so, what they are saying is that they are going to lay down their tools. They are not going to work. So from today, perhaps you might not see any of these farm milk sellers on the street when you are driving home or probably coming to work. So that is the situation here. But just a while ago, the sales marketing manager
came to speak to them that, well, he has heard their concerns and that he will be addressing them. So they should wait for him, and he will come back shortly. So he's gone back to the factory at North Carnation, where they are at the moment, with a heavy security presence. The managers are in a meeting, I am told, discussing the concerns raised by the sellers, and then we are told that they will come and meet them again and address their concerns for them. So the people are here, they are still waiting for the managers to come and address their concerns.
Let's hear from one of the retailers, Parker. We'll come back to you shortly.
We are demonstrating today because the pharma company has made us to know that they said they don't know us, and they are reducing our profit because there have been some increment in their cost of production. Meanwhile, if you say there have been an increase in your cost of production, what we know is that you have to increase the product. Why must you reduce the vendor who suffers on the streets pesos? Even what are we even talking about here? It's only 70 pesos that you get on each product. But yet, just this coming Monday, they brought a letter that they are reducing our profit to 16 pesos.
So from 70 pesos to
16 pesos.
70 pesos to
17 pesos. 17 pesos. Yes, 17 pesos, which is not even up to 20 pesos. Pure water money is not even up to. You understand? At least if there's something, you can consult us. But each time we write petition to them, all what they say is that they don't know us.
They know the agents.
They know only the agents.
They know agents.
We send the agent to agents who will say they don't know us.
So what do you want them to do for you?
We want them either they maintain the 17 pesos or they increase it to 20 pesos.
So, Parker, at the last check, the sales manager, you told us, tried to address them. Are they still locked up in the meeting? Have they said anything to them as we speak?
Yes, a while ago, the sales marketing manager, One Kwesi Ewa, came to address them that, well, they've heard their concerns. They are going back into a meeting where they'll put the concerns before the managers of the company, that's the farmer company, and then they'll get back to them. So the sellers are here at the North Carnation farmer company. They are just waiting for the managers to come and address them as to what they are saying. But the point is that they say they are not going to work today and that you only see them on the street again.
So that's my colleague Parker Wilson there. Now, police in East Legon say they have increased their efforts to arrest and prosecute road traffic offenders who disregard traffic regulations on the roads there. During early morning congestion, some drivers dangerously drive on the shoulders of the road, whilst others join at unapproved routes, endangering the lives of other motorists. The illegal use of sirens is another challenge the Motor Transport and Traffic Department have to deal with. Police Maxwell Agbagba caught up with the East Legon Police Commander and the MTTD station officer and reports.
The police officers are not happy with what is happening. We've also seen what we've come to know as a siren privilege, where some people driving in their 4x4s put on their sirens and quickly find their way through. Some of the police officers we've been speaking to here say that they actually put the lives of other road users in danger. Let me start off with Chief Inspector.
Some people drive facing oncoming vehicles, and it causes danger to other road users. At times, there are demarcations on the ground where there are no dotted lines. You don't have the right to join. That's neglect of road marking signs. So some people will drive from the top downwards to the down, and you come and enter. When you ask the person, he will tell you, I'm late.
Mr. Sefas Archer, you're welcome to join us.
So as the Chief Inspector said, I know you came here earlier and you have witnessed some drivers disregarding the motor traffic regulations. Some drive on the shoulders of the road. Others also don't follow the queue, ostensibly because they are late. So they are going to work and they are late. You just saw one a while ago. Some members of the public, some motorists, are refusing to obey the traffic regulation, not because the tunnel that has been widened is not enough, but because of the attitude of motorists who are refusing to respect the traffic regulation. And the police, we are going to ensure that if anybody is caught disrespecting the traffic regulation, we deal with him, we arrest him, process him, and put him before court for the court processes to take its own place.
How difficult is it enforcing traffic regulations here in an area where you have a lot of influential people? And earlier I was talking about what we've come to know as a siren privilege. A lot of the corporates are people who drive in four-wheel drives. A lot of the times when a queue is so long, they are the ones who drive on the shoulders of the road and make sure they get to the front and move ahead of everyone. How are you able to deal with this?
It is indeed difficult enforcing the traffic regulation in a community as privileged as East Legon. That is quite ironic because one would have expected that it is rather in a community as privileged as East Legon that persons living here would want to respect the laws of the land. But this is where they flagrantly break the laws. And we are not going to leave any stone unturned in our bid to enforce the law. We are going to arrest and use the law to arrest so that people will face the law. Perhaps people want to be punished, and after which maybe they will start to respect the law. So we are going to do so.
You heard the East Legon Police Commander Cephas Arthur. You're still listening to the Midday News. We'll take a quick break. When we return, Joy News answers your questions on a series on crimes that shook the nation.
Now, this very moment, it's the pulse of possibility, potential, power. It's time
to make your move.
To take that step.
The time
is now.
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 The great things you do tomorrow start with the small steps you take right now. So take that step with Old Mutual. Call us on 0302-230-638 and make now count. Old Mutual. Do great things every day.
You're welcome back. Time now for the latest from the world of sports, and Ridwan Ibrahim Asante joins us in the studios. Ridwan, what's in sports?
No, we have to talk more about what's going to happen this weekend, but that'll be coming up at 1 p.m. with George Addo Jr. and the rest of the team on Locker Room. But the 2018 World Youth Games will start tomorrow. That's in the Argentine capital of Buenos Aires, and that's where the games will be held. And talking about Ghana's preparation for the competition, we have 4 or more athletes taking part in 4 events. Now, Ghana will be competing in swimming, beach volleyball, athletics, and then weightlifting. At the last Summer Youth Olympics in Nanjing, China, Martha Bisa won gold in the 800 meters. But President of the Ghana Olympic Committee, Ben Mensah, is unsure if the team in Argentina can win medals.
In terms of our logistics, in terms of the preparation, I think that the GOC has worked together with the ministry, and these athletes are okay and they are ready to go. But I don't also want us to put too much pressure on them, expecting them to come home with gold medals and all the medals, because to be fair to them, how much are we invested in them? These boys, young boys and girls, are ready to die for our country. And I'm sure based on that commitment, based on that willpower to do a little bit for our country, they will come back with medals. But let's not push them too much. This is, for most of them, this is their first Olympics, apart from Abeku. The volleyball team were in Bahamas. They showed class. And I wouldn't be surprised if the volleyball, Abeku, and then the weightlifter comes back home with medals. But let's not put too much pressure on them. I know they're going to do it for Ghana, but let's not put too much pressure on them.
You heard President of the Ghana Olympic Committee, Ben Mensah. So catch us at 1 p.m. with more from the world of sports when you join George Addo Jr. and the rest of the team on Locker Room.
Thank you very much, Ridwan. Now, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has reiterated government's commitment to improving the welfare of teachers, as they believe the profession is relevant for the improvement in the country's human resource. His comments come on the back of calls by the National Association of Graduate Teachers for the improvement in the conditions of service for teachers across the country. Dr. Bawumia, however, used the occasion to announce a rebranding of the National Teachers Award, which has been changed to Ghana Teacher Prize. He was speaking on the theme for this year's World Teachers' Day: the right to education means the right to a qualified teacher.
The government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is fully committed to undertaking several reforms in our education sector to ensure that the education we are providing for our children is fit for purpose and is able to deliver quality outcomes. No country can embark on the path of quality education for its citizens for national development without the teacher as an important part of that framework. The government is undertaking wide reforms to equip our teachers with the necessary tools to to ensure that they are able to deliver quality learning outcomes in our schools. Our mantra in education has and remains teacher first. The National Teacher Awards have been rebranded as Ghana Teacher Prize, with an international standard as the new benchmark.
You heard the Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Baomi and the National Chairman of the governing New Patriotic Party, Freddie Blay, wants the provisions in the Constitution that shields former coup makers from prosecution to be expunged. This comes on the heels of the release of the Joy News special assignment focused on crimes that shook the nation, which highlighted the killing of 3 Superior Court judges under the PNDC military junta in 1982. Speaking to Raymond Akwa on Upfront, Freddie Blay, who was lawyer for one of the suspects in the murder of the judges, insists the removal of such immunity will prevent illegal overthrow of governments.
Those who have taken part in coups, and therefore when they come out and they want to bring in or usher in a new constitutional dispensation, then they go and insert into the constitution clauses that indemnify them and so forth. I think it's not good. We should expunge them, not because we want to go back and deal with those who have been involved in those either atrocities or breaches of the Constitution and so forth. But to me, it should be some kind of, it should deter people.
Because
the deterrence.
Because currently, we are still in the constitutional review process. We've not concluded it. Yes. Do you think it ought to be removed?
I will have loved to have it completely expunged.
You heard there Freddie Blay. Now, the first episode of the Joy News special assignment on crimes that shook the nation aired on Tuesday. That was Who Killed the Judges. After the broadcast, however, we've been inundated by an avalanche of positive reviews and, of course, questions. But at 2 p.m. later today, Joy News will hear some of these questions that you may have. Some of them, we can listen.
This is coming from Maxwell. In the documentary, what for you is your most important take? Hashtag Who Killed the Judges. And Ronnie K writes, hashtag Who Killed the Judges was definitely a great documentary. But my question is, what was the political motive for doing the story?
Now, documentaries editor Fifi Kumsin joins me in studio for a quick chat on this. Fifi, tell us more about this show later today at 2 p.m.
Absolutely. After this riveting documentary about crimes that shook the nation, you have the opportunity to interact directly with the producer of the documentary, Raymond Akwa. In fact, there's going to be live on Facebook. It's going to be live on the Joy News channel on Multi TV. So it's at 2 p.m. Join the discussion on the crimes that shook the nation. Whatever questions you have, whatever comments you have, we've got the answers.
Now, this is the time. Don't keep it to yourself and don't call us for it. The producer himself will answer all your questions at 2 p.m. on all our social media platforms, also on myjoyonline.com. Do stay. And that's it for the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. I am Emefa Apau. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Do have a good afternoon.